Welcome back to another episode of Tailgate with the Tullys. I'm CJ,
I'm Ryan.
and today's going to be a little bit of a different episode. As you know, the World Series is currently going on. The day this is being shot, we're reaching Game 5, so if anything shakes up, we're a little behind. Hopefully the Yankees won. But with all this being said, I'm looking at the World Series and I'm looking at Freddie Freeman, who's having an outstanding performance, and it raised a question to me of if Freddie Freeman wins the World Series with the Dodgers, does this take away from his time in the Braves, and will he be remembered as a Brave or a Dodger going forward? I know Ryan has some takes on this, so I figured this would be a good debate and leave it up to you guys for what you guys thought in the comments. But Ryan, what did you think?
Yeah, I think that for a player to be remembered for a team, when you think of Tom Brady, you're always going to remember the Patriots. When you think of Peyton Manning, I lean more towards Broncos. When you think of Chase Utley, Philly. So there's a lot of guys that have played for other teams, and you think of one team. So our debate is about Freddie Freeman, for example, if he wins this World Series with the Dodgers. I still believe that he'll always be remembered as a Brave. It's his team that he became up with. It's a team that he won his first World Series with, and it's a team that he has the most playing time with. I know CJ has another take, so I don't know if you want to put your take out there.
Yeah, I mean, you had said Chase Utley, but to me, Chase Utley, it was the first time I started having this debate in my head mentally.
Yep.
Just when he was with the Dodgers, as if he wins with the Dodgers, does that take away from him being a Philly? And it was kind of like that selfishness of me as a Phillies fan of, well, he's ours, he should only win with us, and if he wins with the Dodgers, he's going to be more LA. And with him, I feel like it's more because he never really showed that Philly once he left, and he had the whole thing with the Mets, which then just made him more of a Dodger at that point. That was when the big thing happened for him. So for me, it all started with Chase Utley, and then this all kind of resparked with the Freddie Freeman issue. You look in that World Series alone. You also have Mookie Betts, who Mookie Betts won with the Red Sox, and now he's won with the Dodgers, and he could win two now with the Dodgers. Now he was an MVP and an outstanding player with the Red Sox, but I think now being said by the end of his career, he's going to remember it as a Dodger. And I'm not a Red Sox fan. I don't know people from Boston, but I don't know if they take that to the same extreme of, well, Mookie was our guy first. He was ours. He won an MVP. He won a World Series with us. And now the Dodgers just kind of claim these guys. You can also look at it on the other end. Juan Soto, Giancarlo Stanton. Now Stanton, you're not going to remember much as a Marlin, but you're going to see him as a Yankee. Juan Soto, he won with the Nationals. Now, if the Yankees win, where do you see Juan Soto? Because I know he's also now going to resign a big contract, whether it be with New York or Philly, hopefully, or wherever he goes. But I think you look at some of these players and it's you have that hometown bias of like that was our guy first, and then
Mhm.
you go to these other places, and do you lose that respect for them almost, or like what do you do?
I wouldn't say I necessarily lose respect for them. For the first point of Freddie Freeman, I think he had a bigger impact on the Braves and the Dodgers. For Mookie Betts, I think that he's completely been ripped from Red Sox Nation. Um, I don't know a Red Sox take on that, like you said, but just the fact that he's going to have two rings, he's been playing out of his mind as a Dodger. So to me, it's where did you make the biggest impact for the Chase Utley thing, which is again where I first had this thought of like, will Chase Utley be a Philly or is he more of a Dodger? Chase Utley didn't do anything crazy on the Dodgers. He was more there for a mentor role. Yeah, he might have if he won the ring. I still think he's always going to be looked at as a Philly. Philly, Philly, Philly. He is Philly. He showed Philly mentality when he was in Philly. He played that hard, scrappy. Let me just take that extra base. That was his thing when he was here. He won the World Series with us. He played at an MVP level. Did he ever win one? No, but he was Philly. So I think it's where you make that biggest impact. Like, yeah, Tom Brady won with the Bucks, but you'll never look at Tom Brady and be like, oh, the Buccaneer.
Tom Brady won six Super Bowls with the Patriots. So
But I'm just saying, it's like it's where did you make a bigger impact? He obviously made a bigger impact in.
yeah, yeah, because it was 2 years with the Bucks and he won one Super Bowl. So
That's what I'm just saying.
it takes away from Bill Belichick. If you're a Patriots person and it's like you lost that combo, it's not like, I don't think you're ever going to see Tom Brady as a Buck necessarily. But all right, so you want to look at other sports? LeBron James, he won two with the Heat, two with the or one with the Cavs, and now one with the Lakers in 2020. Now the Lakers won, Mickey Mouse, a little fraudulent, but that's his most recent. Now I don't think this Lakers team is ever going to win another championship with LeBron. I think he's
Yeah.
coming to the end, and I don't think they're stacked up enough for him to win another championship. So the Heat is where he made his start. It's where he had him, Wade, and Bosh, and it was this big team, and that's where he made a name for himself. Well, I guess technically with the Cavs, but the Heat really took away or made him something, and I don't think you'll remember him as a Heat member, and you might remember him as a Cav. But I think at the end of the day, it's going to be he's remembered as a Laker, and I don't think it's just because it's the last team he's played for. It's the most what you remember because again, you have other players who go other places and you don't remember him for the most current team. Joe Flacco, for example, has been on a million teams since the Ravens, but he won with the Ravens. He was the Ravens. You're going to remember him for the Ravens. So I don't like a LeBron. I don't think you're going to remember him from anything but the Lakers.
I disagree with that take just because I think LA bias is always going to be a thing. I think when you go from smaller markets like Cleveland and Miami and you get put in LA, yeah, you're going to get that shoved down your throat a lot more than let's say with LeBron. To me, LeBron's always going to be a cat. He had that impact. He won them their first championship. He had the 3-1 comeback. That's LeBron to me. I just think that with when players go to LA, that's just where you think because they're on the biggest stage. There's nothing bigger than LA. Shohei Ohtani, yeah, did he have two MVPs as an Angel? Yeah, but you're never going to remember him as an Angel because
But
he's
if
on a
he
lower end LA team.
but if he never wins with the Dodgers, then isn't it
You're
like
always going to remember him as a Dodger. It's Shohei Ohtani, the Dodger.
I'm saying if he doesn't win with the Dodgers, is he still remembered as a like? Let's say he doesn't
Yes,
wins the MVP this year and doesn't win it again, so he has two
he's still
MVPs.
a Dodger because he's in LA. And I think that's a bias thing. I think that is strictly a biasy thing that you'll always remember a player for their time on the Lakers or the Dodgers, like the biggest team. Like, yeah, like LA, I'm not talking Clippers, I'm not talking Angels, I'm talking that team, the Lakers, the Dodgers, those big markets. If you go to New York, yeah, you're going to be more remembered as a New York Yankee. You're going to be more remembered as a Dallas Cowboy. So,
Okay,
like, that kind of stuff.
come back on that because Wayne Gretzky played for both LA and New York, but he'll always be remembered.
Dude, nobody cares about hockey enough to make that a part of this conversation.
Comment below if you care about hockey. No, people
I'm
tell
not saying nobody cares about hockey, but I'm saying that's a completely different situation because
me it's where you win the championship. So again, Wayne Gretzky won the championship there. He's remembered there. If he had won with New York or LA, people might remember
yeah,
him for
that's
that.
what I'm saying. If you win with that team, yeah, that's automatically your team. That's what I'm saying. Like,
That's why I was getting back to your Shohei point. If Shohei never wins with the Dodgers, then he's just
but
as
it's a different scenario because I think baseball championship doesn't matter as much as some of these other sports. I think an MVP means more for a player's case of their greatness than a World Series ring because baseball World Series is very hard to do.
so. All right, let's look to the future here. Juan Soto won with the Nationals. Let's say he stays with the Yankees. Yankees fall off. They never win again.
He's a national.
Longer, but let's say he has a longer stint with the Yankees.
He's national. He'll always be a national.
But see, New York's that big market, so why wouldn't you latch on to him as a Yankee?
Because I'm not saying I personally do this. I'm saying this is a thing that people do just because. I'm saying it's more of that. Like, let's say Michael Jordan, for the end of his career, played 3 years on the Lakers and wins one ring. You're probably going to remember Michael Jordan as a Laker just because of that recency. I think that also plays a fact. The recency. What team did they play for last? Like, yeah, obviously, right now you can't look at Freddie Freeman as a Brave because he's on the Dodgers. So
No.
I think there's a lot of factors that play into of where do you see a player like Peyton Manning. Some people look at him as a Colt because that's where he started. Some people look at him as I look at him as a Bronco because that's when I watched football more. So there's always going to be a different perspective depending on your like outcome of your life.
Well, I know I also had the same thing come up with Roy Halladay when he passed away and then he was getting put in the Hall of Fame as to which team's hats he going to wear in the Hall of Fame, like who's he going to be remembered as in the Hall of Fame. And I think that comes back to the same discussion when like players retire. It's like you want that hometown bias of like, oh, he was ours.
Yeah.
If they went somewhere else, it's like it takes that away from it. So like coming back to the whole thing here is we'll look at Freddie Freeman as the example of this whole thing. And I don't believe he'll be remembered as a Brave if he continues to win with the Dodgers.
I don't say you can say continued. I don't know how much longer Freddie Freeman's playing. He played, what was it, 12 years as a Dodger? Yeah, no, sorry, 12 years as a Brave, and he's on his third year with the Dodgers. How can you sit there and say that there's 12 years where he won a World Series, he won an MVP,
I'm not
let
saying
alone being a Mickey Mouse?
in the grand scheme of his career, I think
Yes.
he performs like this. Like I know Braves fans didn't like that he even left. Like they kind of booed him out of there. That like he turned his back on them for the money, and it's like
Well,
he.
there's a lot of politics there, but
I mean, they got Matt Olson, so it's not the worst thing.
yeah,
But
and they want to roll, or they haven't won a World Series. No,
but
to me, I think he'll always be a Brave. And I don't know if that's just a personal thing, but to me, winning a World Series with the team that you started with means so much more than winning it with a super team like the Dodgers. And I think that will,
past him is my point. That like he wins with somebody else, that's what he's going to be remembered for.
I disagree.
Who's going
I
to
sh
look back at the what year did they win? 20,
2021.
yeah, or 2021. Like who's going to look that if he now wins this year and let's say he makes another run next year and then it's like Freddie's just the Dodger. Like I feel like LA themselves are just going to make it like he's the Dodger.
But nobody likes us.
I always had this hope that he's going to like go on some retirement thing and just go back to the Braves just to finish out his career. I
I
think
think that would be awesome.
that would change things.
I think that would be very awesome, but I don't think that that's a very.
I don't know if he's remembered as a Brave.
I think he will always be remembered as a Brave. I think that what he did in Atlanta means way more than what he's doing in the Dodgers because I think his role on the Braves was way more important than
Oh,
his role on the Dodgers.
I agree. I think he was much more efficient on the Braves. I'm saying, grand scheme of sports, are players remembered more for the most recent or for like their biggest impact?
I think it's your biggest impact, not the most recent.
All right.
And I
Well,
think that his biggest impact was on the Braves.
all right. Well, drop a comment. Let us know what you guys think. Do players get remembered more for their most recent or for where they really made their impact? Will Freddie Freeman, for example, be remembered as a Brave or a Dodger? Thank you guys for listening to another episode of Tailgate with the Tullys. We'll be back next week with a great new episode. I'm CJ.
I'm Ryan.
Catches.